Good evening and welcome to the Gothic Bohemian Salon. This is Jwlhyfer. Are you familiar with heartache? How about loneliness, unease, paranoia? Worry? If these things sound familiar to you, along with insomnia and perhaps panicking and crying for no reason, then you might be familiar with what I like to call my little friend, depression. Recently, I suffered a minor heartache, and the fact that I had missed a medication in my schedule for manic depression made this fact much more desperate than it needed to be. The heartache that I suffered was from something rather minor, but in my mind I blew it up into something major, I think. But it seemed really desperate at the time. So our minds can play tricks on us, and that's why it's important to know what emotions are yours and what belong to your illness if you yourself are a depressive or a manic depressive. By the way, I'm not calling it bipolar disorder on purpose. I don't find that term to be descriptive, and I prefer not to use it. So that is my explanation for my chosen term. I hope that it doesn't offend anybody that I use the term that's been used for hundreds of years, or at least 100 years, to describe people of this particular bent. Now, it's said that you can't have the highs without the lows, and some people are afraid to go into any kind of treatment because of this, but I have to say that since going into treatment, my life has been much more even and calm, and I wouldn't say that it's any less fulfilling than it was before. Not in any case due to the treatment that I'm receiving for that illness. Mental illness has a huge stigma in our society, and we're not supposed to have it or talk about it or ever talk about emotions or complain about them. I've never been a person who was afraid to talk about my emotions, to complain about them, or indeed to share them with whoever happened to be around at the time, sometimes to good effect and sometimes not. One of the reasons why I'm not shy about sharing my emotions is so that other people who have similar issues will feel like they're not so much alone. And one of the worst things that one can feel in this kind of situation is alone. So if you're out there, if you are depressed, you're not alone. Tonight is a lonely night. I love the night. Usually this is my best time. Tonight it's not my best time. Tonight I'm suffering from heartache. Tonight, I'm feeling lonely. Tonight I feel isolated and alone. And tonight, I find no comfort in the things that generally comfort me. So I decided to make this video because I know that in reality I'm not alone. There's many other people out there tonight who feel as I do, who love the night, but who tonight is not a good night, for whom tonight has been rough and lonely and full of heartbreak. For you who are out there not able to sleep past midnight in the twilight hours, light your candles with me and embrace the darkness. I have a long prose poem that I wrote called Theosomorphia. It's a poem about, it's a series of poems, dialogues, it's a play, it's many different things actually, about a vampire, a 1,000-year-old vampire. When the change happened, instead of her emotions becoming less important, instead of her becoming stronger mentally, she became crazy. Her emotions became stronger instead of more even. She became out of control in a way. The heightened senses and everything else that goes with the vampiric change was too much for her. And she survived in spite of all of that, but she's quite delicate in a strange sort of way. She's very powerful, but very delicate. And I think that's kind of how I feel tonight. Powerful but delicate. Potent but stopped in my tracks. I can see my achievements, I can see my good qualities, but I recall my lesser qualities with a sigh of dissatisfaction. I wish more than anything that I didn't have this heartache. I wish that the person who I want as my friend felt as I do. Yes, that's what I want. But I don't think it's meant to be. And you know, I figured something out a few days ago. This is kind of funny, but I was watching a YouTube makeup artist, and he was describing different shapes of the face and what they were all like, and I was trying to figure out what shape of face I have, and I realized that I have a heart-shaped face. I didn't realize that, and I think that's lovely. I'm happy about that. I'm satisfied with that. Heart-shaped. I didn't think anything about me was heart-shaped. Can you imagine? Not even my heart. Heart-shaped face. It's time for you to go. It's time for me to go. I'm going to see if I can write or maybe sleep. You may do as you like. But thank you so much for joining me in the Gothic Bohemian Salon. Embrace the darkness. Join the night. Become one of us. Good night.